Hello, amazing, beautiful people. Here we are in week 11. I can't believe it. We're already nearly at the end of the Great Exchange series. And today I just wanted to talk about distance and then empathy. They may not be complete opposites, but empathy is about connecting and leaning in, whereas distance is about literally pulling back and disconnecting. So I just want to talk about it in that sort of spiritual or emotional intelligence space so that we can just have a wee look at what's helpful and what's unhelpful. But to start with, let me just have a quick look at the Oxford Dictionary's description of this. So a noun with regards to the distance is the length of space between 2 points. So it's always about moving away, or it's to make someone or something far off or remote in position or nature. So it's always about, it's about doing this as opposed to empathy, which is about connection. So, and actually empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Now we can only do that if we're close, if we're in close, if we're leaning in rather than leaning out. And so why do I want to talk about that today? Often we distance ourselves and it's absolutely fine. If somebody's beating you up, like we talk about in the book, yeah, get out, distance. Like I'm not saying stay in an abusive situation or stay somewhere where it's unhealthy. However, if we can capture the moment and just pause and go, hold on a minute, this is starting to get out of hand. Hold on a minute, I'm feeling uncomfortable. Hold on a minute, I don't agree with that. Pause and breathe. And yes, sometimes we might have to step out to step back in. We might have to just take a moment to really consider something or discuss something with someone and then step back into the situation. So long distance can be this invisible barrier that we put up, and it's often our opinions or our thoughts. So my opinion about somebody could be, oh, they don't like me, so I take a step back because I don't want to hang out with people who like me. I mean, that's natural. Oh no, they said something unkind last week, so another step back. Look, we start to stack these things and we start to put distance between people. However, if we just lent in and say, actually, do you know what, Freddie, whoever it might be, I love you heaps. But when you said X, Y, Z to me the other week, actually, I was quite hurt. And I don't know that that's what you meant. Could you explain it to me? And we give that person, you're trying to connect and you're giving that person opportunity to connect. And what you're also doing, what can happen with the empathy, is you're looking to connect. You're looking to put yourself in the other person's shoes. And what I love when we say, actually, this is out of character for you, or this is not who I see you as, you are lifting them up to how you see them as brilliant and as awesome and amazing. And you want to hang out with them because they're the best person on the planet. But we don't want to do that if it's hurting, because hurt people and healed people heal people. So get into that healing mode, get into that empathy mode, put yourself in that person's shoes. What's sitting behind that? Why has that person responded that way? And also, why have you responded that way? And one of the things I've noticed, when people distance themselves, when they get back, they start to gossip or they start to ask other people because they want people on their side. And what they do is they start to build this ugly mountain of yuck. And that just like, who wants to be there? So, and they get people on, and then it all starts to be a big divide, and then it's all ugly because, again, more distance, more division, more disconnection. And it doesn't bring anyone joy. It doesn't actually benefit anyone. It's so unhelpful. Whereas if we can reflect, hold on a minute, what's going on here? Reconsider, could there be another way? Could there be a way that we could see this differently, whatever the thing is? Could there be a way that we could look at it and reframe it? We can turn our upside down world, the hurt, into healing. How can we do that? How can we reframe it? And then how can we restore whatever the situation was, whatever the thing might have been? And the difference between reacting and responding is hurt, reacts and pulls back, or fires in, because it's that fight or flight. So you either pull back or you push in and you're ready to punch someone. Or response or responding is where we've considered, where we've gone inwards and said, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? And what's happening for the other person in this situation? That's where empathy sits. And for me, we all, every single one of us wants to be safe. We want to be honored. I think, well, I might be wrong, but I would say most of us want to be valued. We want to be honored. We want to feel like we're part of something. We want to make a difference. You know, I would say for every single client I've coached, they want to make a difference. They want to feel valued. They want to feel significance. They want to feel like their life actually matters. And we can't do that alone, distance and away. So we need to get close and connect, because actually life is about relationship. And we can count how many cars, how many houses we've got, whatever it might be, all the good stuff. Yes, all that external thing. Yes, I've got all these things. But what really matters when we're on our deathbed is who we hung out with in our lives. Who did we have fun with? Who walked with us at those tough times? Who was with us? Who was with me when my dad died? Who was there when we lose people? Who was there when I went into hospital? Who was there? You know, like, who are those people? And more recently, in my sense, selfish life, who was with me when I launched my book? Holy moly, what fun we've just had. Because they all had a heart. We connected deep to deep, heart to heart, and people came and we had a blast. Let me just give you some figures on what we achieved when we just got together with empathy and honor and respect. So the Great Exchange was launched on Saturday. I started at 6 a.m. with an online for my US and Canada and UK friends. I went all the way through to 7 p.m. actually for New Zealand and Australia. And we made, and then we had some lovely in-person ones in between. We made #1 new release in Christian leadership. We made #1 new release in women's inspirational spirituality. We made #1 in health and spirituality. No new release, just in that block, we were #1. Well done, team. #2 in Christian leadership in Kindle. #2 in religious leadership in Kindle. #3 in women's inspirational spirituality. So again, across the board, we nailed it. And we also got to #90 in the top 100 books in Christian leadership. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, I couldn't have done any of that, keeping my distance, staying away. I couldn't have written the book that way. I certainly couldn't have launched it that way. I had to lean in and step out in faith into something that I had no idea what I was doing. And you know what? A whole army of people came along with me, bought the book, sent it to friends, helped me. That's where we need to be, working collaboratively, not distancing ourselves and coming back, but being in the game, in the room with others. Now, I wish I had that lovely Theodore Roosevelt scripture, you know, the quote that he has. I don't have it to hand. I'll have to find it for the notes, where he talks about being in the room, where he talks about it's the person in the room that's got blood and sweat and they've given it their best and they've given it their all. People who distance themselves, who sit on the bleachers and just comment from the sidelines, but haven't actually been in the game. They haven't actually been in the arena. They haven't actually done the stuff. You can keep your distance, but it's so much more fun when you get in there with it. Sometimes it's dirty, sometimes it's messy, but let's walk together. Let's work collaboratively. And if any of you have not yet bought that book, get it this week, because we're keeping it as 99 cents US Kindle. So you have the opportunity to buy this book and keep the momentum going and getting it into more hands to change more lives, so that no one has to distance themselves anymore. They can live their lives in true compassion, empathy, and connection. So get online at Amazon, The Great Exchange by Sally J. Webb, and get your copy today. Have an amazing God bless day. And for all of those of you supported me, thank you, thank you, thank you. Share it with a friend. God bless.